This is a very simple depiction of the globe model. It's far from accurate, but I think you can get the idea of there's Africa, Asia, and so on. I think you get the idea. This is a reasonable but not accurate depiction of the globe model. So I'm going to use this video to inform people how we were misled or indoctrinated at a very young age to believe a certain element of the process. This 8 inches per mile squared makes absolutely no sense to me, because it assumes that wherever I stand on this place, the curvature of the water is going to increase the further you go away from me. But if I move from this place to that and then start the calculation again, I'm assuming the first 8 inches on the first mile, which would make no sense, because I was claiming that this curvature, which can't be affected by my observation of it, is a real thing that we're talking about. This curvature cannot be affected by me standing here, 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 or anywhere else on this spherical or oblate spherical object. At the microcosmic level, anything walking over this tiny ball, we'd say that the amount of curvature is identical at all places. There may be undulations over this green area, the rocks and so on, but the water is curving uniformly. And that's what we observe. So how do they trick us? How do they trick us? And this is how they do it. Ready? Boom! And there you are, Shazam! As if by magic, you are now on a flat earth, or a flat piece of paper. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to make this work as if it was a plane. And that's where the trickery lies, because they give you this model, but they tell you to calculate it on a flat plane. They give you a ball and then say, here you go, work it out on this. Well, I can assure you that's where the trickery is. And most flat earthers, they transition from this to this without ever thinking about it. And this is how it should look, because this is the globe earth model. Australia. Down under, apparently. Now, what they don't ever have to do when they put you on the flat Earth model here is they don't have to account for this z-axis, this height, which is 8,000 miles. That's a lot of height, and we don't have to, because there's no up and down. Apparently, there's no up and down on this, which of course is another one of the nonsensical elements of living on a ball. Living on a plane, you have one up and down, so it's simple. Living on a ball, everybody gets had their own unique up and down, which again is bloody nonsense. How is it my finger gets to be on top when that's my finger, but if my thumb wants to be in charge, it's like, no, now your finger's at the bottom. Again, hocus pocus magic tricks. But let me keep this simple. It's 8,000 from the top to the bottom. That's what they tell us. It's 12,000 and a half from this side, say north, all the way around 180 degrees to the other side. I'll keep it nice and simple. That means that for every 12 miles or 12 steps I take from this starting point, the globe doesn't get to roll beneath me. That's bullshit. Relativity applies to the sky. It does not apply to the earth. We're not on some kind of computer simulation. You've seen these little children's games where the globe just rolls underneath them, regardless of, because a child doesn't need to, and this is when we learned all this trickery. The child doesn't need to think that, oh gosh, if I walk this way, this person here, their whole experience is going to have altered because they're now somewhere else. Oh, don't think too hard about that. 12,500 miles across the skin of the earth will drop me down by 8,000 miles. It's as simple as that. Do not let them do this to you. You cannot take this as your model and then say, we'll show you how it works on a flat plane. That's no good. I think if you can break through the spell, you'll realize that no matter what size ball you get, you've always got to account for, wow, this ant is going to have descended. It's going to have changed its aspect and actually traveled all this way. They say, oh, we're turning 90 degrees now. We're at 90 degrees. The plane is at 90 degrees now, and it's 180 degrees upside down now, and so on. Well, that's because we've dropped down by 8,000 or 8 units. What you never have to account for in this is that the line that you're given by your controllers is always horizontal with the starting point. The ship never has to change aspect and eventually end up upside down, 180 degrees of no shift and no height, no z-axis to account for. This is how you've been tricked, flat earthers. You are still letting them get away with it. There should be, in 1 kilometer, there should be 600 meters of curvature on this model. Curvature should be a factor wherever you are, and if you're leaving Africa, according to this model, you should be going uphill. You should be going up the oceans to get up top. Of course, that's nonsense because it can't work. That's why they give it to you as a flat earth. A flat plane, work it out on a flat plane, and then convert it through magic and gravity, part of the magic spell, into this nonsensical thing. We live on an electromagnetic plane within an electromagnetic toroidal system, which is so complicated. It would be great to try and work it out, but I don't have all the answers yet. And if you haven't yet transitioned from, well, I've been tricked again, then there's no way we're going to work out the truth of this beautiful, self-created, dome-covered realm of existence. Peace out.